I'm Cathy Allen, and today is 80s Day at our school, and as you can tell, I went all in. I had fun revisiting my high school and my hair and everything, and the kids had a blast. My why. I teach because I can help open doors for their future. If I can help them learn to like math and perhaps even love it someday, they'll be able to be successful in high school and not be limited. I have known so many people whose lives have been hindered because they're not good at math, or they were told that they're not a math person. There's no such thing as not a math person. I choose middle school because at that point I can give them the strong foundation they need and the skills they need for high school. And that's the benefit of my first part of my career being in high school. I know what that's about. I know what skills are needed. So I can be mindful in what I teach now to do that. Primarily, relationship is key. Relationship, people think of math as this cold area, but actually it's very emotion filled. It can be frustrating. It can be exciting. And I've even found that in my years, I do a lot of healing of math trauma that kids have experienced in previous classrooms. That relationship goes a long way to building their confidence so they're willing to take on math. It is an amazing feature in my classroom. That relationship is so important, and my best years are when I've been able to work on relationship first. With project-based learning, I found it is a balance between giving them the tools they need to tackle a problem and then stepping back and letting them struggle, the joyful struggle, to be okay with struggle. Making that part of my classroom culture is really important. Knowing I'm there to support, but it's going to be hard. I love the challenge of a good problem, and sometimes they're very hard to find. But the sense of accomplishment and self-worth that is experienced at the end of doing a hard problem cannot be matched. So while my classroom can be filled with accessing and gaining tools to put in their toolbox, it can also be set loose on a problem where they're working together and collaborating and sharing ideas. And I love when they come together and do that. And it doesn't have to be a big problem. It doesn't have to take up the whole class period. It can be small problems that they work on together. But I feel the way that they're able to learn and master their skills at that point is really important. And celebrate their successes. Helps them get through what they're trying to do. Asking the right question at the right time is an art. And every year I learn a little bit more on how to get better at that. Normally, as a teacher, in the beginning of my career, I lived up here. Everything I did was here, and I'd look out over the sea, and I got really good at reading faces, but I really only connected with the kids in the first two rows. With technology today, all I need is an iPad, Apple TV, and Apple Pencil, and just Siri. And what that does is it takes my display of this problem that we just learned about today with functions and has it up there. Now, I can go so far as walking around and I can write on here and it displays up there on the screen. What's even better is I can hand it over to a student and have them share their thinking. And then they can write. And they don't have to feel so overwhelmed to go up to the board and get more of a voice and have the resources, their notes there. They're not fumbling, but I can just walk over to them and do that. What's awesome is students have learned to focus more on the math and their work and not so much on me, because I'm not the show, and I'm not supposed to be the show. Their math, their collaboration is supposed to be the show. Now you see my desks in pairs of two. You didn't see it last class period. The kids move themselves into groups and work together. and you can see them banter back and forth about how do you do this problem, working ahead, so I can pace it to where some kids can move more quickly. And other kids, as I'm walking around, I can assess, hey, remember, we're using the vertical line test. Okay, so draw your vertical line. What does that tell you? Why is this not a function? And we have the word wall over here. They'll be adding more for functions where they have examples of how graphs are described and have that as a reference. And then students are artists over there and love to doodle. But they have that, especially for my language learners, to have that vocabulary up there and in application is huge. So I'm a big fan of a poster maker, and I hope we have one. I'm a big fan of a laminator. I like to make things I can use again, but I know working with my language learners, this goes a long way for them to know what language to use, what it means, where it goes. Not being tethered to the screen means I very rarely redirect whole group. I can walk over here, tap, and say focus. Or I can point and say, whoa, you made a mistake right there. Check that again. While other kids are working, I can go over to this group and say, okay, tell me more about these functions that we've been deciding today. Describe them to me. And then they can use and talk to me and use the language that we've been learning over the last couple days. That's huge because it's not putting them on the spot. And I get to know my students more. And they feel more comfortable asking questions because it doesn't have to be whole group. They can ask, I come over and then work with them one-on-one. I can't go back to a board teaching. I have to have this ability to rove and monitor and move. Now from here, I can also access and turn off the display. And it goes back to the slide. I can exit my slideshow. And then I can go to other tabs and access different things. So the other day, we were learning about tides, so I could go right over here to YouTube. And I had pulled up, tap to retry, so let's go back. And I could pull up videos of tides because I had a lot of kids who had not been to a beach. And we could then monitor and show low tide, discuss what low tide meant, look at the change in the crowds for low tide. But I did all of this from my iPad. I didn't have to go up to a computer, move things around. Doceri and the apps allow me to be not tethered to that desk back there. Very rarely will you ever find me at that desk back there because I'm here. My computer doesn't have to be up front anymore. This Apple TV has been amazing. And with Pearson being our curriculum, I can then log in and rather than having 100 videos playing at once and nobody can hear what's going on or worrying about their headphones and what's happening, I can then play the video and stream it from this device. And these videos that they had in the units, last unit we were doing volume of cones and cylinders, and this video that they have was huge to explain why a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder. Instead of learning all these different formulas and just memorizing them, we were able to derive and develop the formula based on the visual that they learned here. So it wasn't just Miss Allen saying volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. they could see that it took 3 cones to fill it up. So 1 cone was 1/3. And I was able to ask those questions as they watched it and replay the video if needed, but give them time to discuss this. Talk to each other. What did you learn about the volume of a cone? Then walking around and hearing the conversations. This is how I use the technology, and I cannot wait to even show more. Now, what's even cooler is Doceri also allows me, if I walk up to a student and I click image and I go from camera, all I have to do here is take a picture of their paper, use photo, and there's no going up and trying to get the camera right and trying to adjust it. It's right up there for them to see. And we can talk about their thinking, make their thinking transparent. They realize their errors and really pushes their thinking. Having that and being able to do that as quick as that is how I use technology. This year, I had this student who has gone from being disengaged and silly to intermittent attempts to work, to daily being engaged, wanting to do better, wanting to learn more, constantly asking questions, checking in, making sure she's doing it right. So working on that confidence piece. Last week, she bombed her test. So I said she needed to go back and look at the review. We went over some of the problems together, and she came in on Tuesday morning, and she goes, I studied. And I was like, how was it? And she goes, well, I cried. I go, math's been known to do that. And she pulls out her book. And then she opens up her book, and she had gone through and created her own problems from the test review. And they're right, with new numbers and new situations. And then she's like, I don't know on this one. I go, then let's work on that one together. But this initiative, I only have one other student that does this regularly and checks in with me. And for her to go from where she was to this, and the relationship we've built while all this has happened, has been amazing. She doesn't shirk away from challenge anymore. She takes 3 steps towards it. That has been my moment.